I don't know how to stop. That is something I've learned about myself recently. Now, I'm worried that sounds really like um, somebody's profile on LinkedIn. Like, what's your biggest weakness? I just don't know how to stop working. But I tried to have some downtime today and then realized that it's just not possible. In fact, I stopped and I then had a message pop up, which was from Cameo. I joined Cameo, which has been fun. And at the start, it was taking me longer than I hoped it would, but I've found a good system now. So when I get a request come through, I think I've sort of found a good way to do the videos that's in keeping with what I do. Anyway, one came through, so I thought, okay, actually, when they come through, you have a few days to do it. It's like 4 days, or sometimes people can give you a 24-hour request because maybe it's someone's birthday and they've had a last minute panic that either they haven't got them anything or they have and they're worried it's not enough. I imagine. Or they just thought, oh, and there's something, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so the requests I've had are like birthday ones. There was a few Valentine's Day ones. Sometimes they are, there's like a category they give them, and one of them is like a pep talk. One was for a girl in America. I think her mum, yeah, her mum also messaged me on Instagram, and her daughter had got an upgrade at work. Not an upgrade. What's it called when you get promoted? Got a promotion at work, and so she wanted to do a message about that. So it was good fun. And if they say who it's from, I can include all the names in the videos. And that was a good fun one to do. So they can be for anything. And anyway, I got a 24-hour request one come through, and I thought, well, I better just get this done. So as soon as I sat down, that came through, and I thought, okay, let me make a few notes, film that. The problem is with the name, is I don't know how to pronounce it. So the name is, I won't say the, well, I will say it, not for their secrecy, so you can sort of decide in your head. The name is spelt Lena. So you can look at that and go, oh, okay, great, that's for Lena. As in Lena Dunham. But then I sat down and I thought, what if it's Lena? So when you do the video, you want to mention their name, but it would be a bit rubbish if the name came through and it was wrong. Like sometimes I get called Jack. And it's usually, it's when I'm abroad, I found. If I go to like Greece or something, when you check in at the hotel, or actually when I travel for work and in Europe, that was it. It was a lot of hotels would say, Mr. Lambert, they would do, but when they do first name, sometimes it's Mr. Lambert, first name Jack. It's like Jake's not really made it in Europe yet. Not me, the person, the name, and me, the person. But I do tour there. But what on earth was I saying? Lena. So then I filmed it. Then I had to film two, where I say her name both ways. So now I've messaged the person who asked for the video to say which one is it. But I might have to just give them two videos and they can decide which one. But I don't even know if you can actually send two videos. Oh, so you just, that was me sat down with a cup of tea thinking, I'm just going to switch off for a bit. And then I end up stressing about how to pronounce the name Lena. I think I have a day off tomorrow, an actual day off. And I'm actually going to a spa this week, which, have I done that before? I don't think I've ever done that where I just go to the spa. Oh, actually I did once in Spain. It had another name. Not maybe Haram? Does that make sense? I feel like the delivery man who listens to this, who likes me mispronouncing things, is going to have a field day with that one. Is it an Haram? Is that like a relaxing place? It was in I think it was in Mallorca. A haram. What is an haram? It's an Arabic, an Arabic term meaning taboo. This may refer to either something sacred to which access is not allowed. Oh, well, they let me in. Okay, maybe it's not that. Spa in Mallorca. I don't know what to say. Oh, okay, hammam. Maybe I was there. Hammam al-Andalu. Was I there? It had really good mint tea. Maybe it's that one. I went to a hammam, but maybe a hammam isn't a thing. Maybe a hammam is just the name of it. Hammam. And we're off. This is the podcast. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, perfect. I was there. A hammam. A hammam is a traditional Middle Eastern and North African steam bath. Yeah, I went there. And it's definitely not haram, which is an Arabic term, meaning forbidden. But I thought maybe it was like going to the spa is a bit of a taboo. But no, that's a different thing. Anyway, I'm going to one this week, so maybe I'll switch off then. But yeah, I've only ever been to one, apart from that one in Spain, which was 2018. I've not been to one since, maybe if I'm in a hotel and they've got one. But even then, I don't really know how to stop, how you're supposed to not. So I sound so LinkedIn. I just mean like, I'm just sat there going, is this relaxing? Am I relaxed? Is this what relaxation is? I'm very particular about relaxing as well. I think the problem is though, when you put too much stress and thought into it, it's no longer relaxing. I'm good at finding relaxing clothes. If you used to listen to the old podcast I did with George Lewis, before George had to stop and I started doing one on my own, and then that led to this. I started talking for a while on there that the place where I buy my favourite t-shirts had stopped making them. It was Panic Stations. I am very particular about my t-shirts. Always have been. There was, I think a few years ago, I would wear Vans t-shirts. And then I discovered Uniqlo, but they were just, no, that's wrong. Dickies, but they were a bit too thick. Carhartt would misshape too quickly, and they were a bit thick. Then it was Uniqlo, but they were a bit oversized. Then I found these other ones, and they were just perfect. And it was just on a whim popping into the shop, and I found them, and they were amazing. And it's a known brand, so I knew I could always get them. So then what I do is if I find something I like, I'll buy a lot of them because I seem to have a scarcity mindset about clothes that they're going to run out. So I bought a load of these t-shirts. Then what I will do, I'll buy them in a medium because I like it slightly oversized. And also they're usually slightly, t-shirts will naturally slightly misshapen after a wash. They'll just change a tiny bit. Anyway, maybe you lose like a couple of percentage of it. I don't know what I mean by that. I do actually, but I don't know what percentage I mean. 3? Anyway, I would buy the medium for wearing on stage or going out, and I would buy them in large for ultimate relaxation. Ultimate relaxation. So it's like, put the large on. I like wearing white t-shirts. I also buy a load of black ones as well. And black ones are good because it means if I am eating, it won't show up on my top if I spill it or anything. But white ones in medium and large, and it's like, that's what I have anyway. I was panicking because they stopped making them. However, in the last few weeks, had a little look, went online. Not only are they back, they're better. Oh, they're so good. I bought some just to try it out, put it on. They're so soft, so nice and relaxing. So I've got a load of them, so it means I can, and it's good in my head then. It means, great, if I go on tour, I can just pack a load of those in the suitcase, and I've got the ones I like to wear, perfect, and I've got the large ones that I can travel in and just relax in. Where was I going? Oh yes, I'm good at knowing how to stop and relax with what to wear. The comedian Red Richardson, we went around Australia a lot together just by chance. We were both on tour and we were going to the same cities at the same time. It was brilliant. And we're both two people who have built a bigger following online than like the traditional way of like TV or anything as well. So that's cool. So we went round, we were in Melbourne together, then we went to Sydney, Brisbane, Perth. It was amazing. It was April last year. It was great. In fact, I had a dream about him last night, and me and him were the last two people alive on Earth. Yeah, there were these other people trying to get us, but they weren't quite human. We were in a big glass skyscraper, and we were trying to keep all the doors and windows locked because they were trying to come in. God. Yeah. Huh. Should message him. But imagine if I messaged him and he had the same dream. Anyway, he had these tracksuit bottoms or joggers. I don't know, however you call them. And I said, where are they from? They look so comfortable. And they were from their Champion ones. So now I have 3 grey pairs of Champion ones. 1 grey small, 1 grey extra small, 1 black small. So again, it's different sizes just for more comfort of what you need. Oh, I just love being comfortable. That was always me. Even when I was at university and people were like dressing up to go out and not too smart because you're at university, mine was always like, how am I going to feel comfortable? That was all I wanted. It wasn't about looking good. It was about being comfortable, because I've just always found I could never have had a job where you wear a suit, because I find suits, if you wear them for a wedding on a day, that's fine, even though that will get a bit annoying at some point. I just couldn't. I could never. I don't know how people do that, to get up on a. Sorry if you. I know you might be listening to this on the Monday morning wearing a suit on your way to work. Wow. I don't know how you do it. I guess the thing is, the good thing about it is you get into work mode. Whereas last night, for example, I drove down for a show I had in Portsmouth in jeans, t-shirt and a jumper, and then went on stage in that exact outfit. See, I never put on like a uniform like that. But I couldn't wear a suit on stage. It would look ridiculous. Somebody asked me to do that the other day for a show, and I said, absolutely not. And then I bought a shirt, took a shirt with me to the show in case I felt pressured to put it on, and I still didn't, just went on in a t-shirt. So I would wear the same thing if I was going out to see friends as I would to a show. That's what I'm trying to say there. But to put on a suit, I think, yeah, it's just not for me. In fact, I'm going to the Brits on Saturday, so I'm doing the red carpet there. But I didn't want to wear a suit, because if I wore a suit there, I would just look like someone's assistant, someone's junior assistant as well, because it makes me look younger being in a suit. It doesn't make me look older. It looks like I've borrowed my dad's suit. And not because it's oversized. In fact, yeah, actually it would be oversized if I wore his. He's 2 inches shorter than me, but just a bit sort of broader. But let's have a sip of my tea. It's been 13 minutes and should be just about right temperature. That actually is great temperature. Some people might have thought that should have gone cold by now, but it's not. It's still steaming, and for me, that's great. Maybe it's the mugs that are good at keeping heat in. I burnt my tongue this week. That was panic stations, because I don't think I've ever said panic stations before, and I feel like I said it earlier as well. Did I? I think I did. Where's that come from? Don't know. Anyway, panic stations. Weird. Anyway, I did panic. Put some milk in my mouth and then swirled that around and sucked on an ice cube, because I was filming the next day, so I was worried that I was going to be talking like that. But I was fine in the end. So yeah, swirl some milk around your mouth and then that's just to get out of context. Someone walks in the room while you're listening to this. It's just someone saying swirl some milk around your mouth and suck on an ice cube. But do that if you burn your mouth. Anyway, I've got my outfit sorted for the Brits. I won't tell you what it is. Be a nice surprise. We'll talk about it next week. In fact, I'm going up to Manchester on the Friday. So I'm going with Meta. Meta gave me the Ray-Bans to like film stuff and capture stuff when I'm away on tour. Then they invited me to the Brits, so they want me to wear the glasses on the red carpet as well. And I'll just sort of, I guess I'll be posting stuff about the night. So I'm going up there Friday, and then there's like a dinner thing. Then Saturday's what I'll do then. I'm just trying to think of when I'm going to have time to record this. I'll record before the Brits, if that's okay. And then the following episode will be about it. It'll be about me being up there and talking about it, and then I'll talk about it the week after. Sorry if that's all right. Anyway, cool. These joggers, and then wearing a suit, going to the Brits. Harry Styles is going to be there. Yeah, that's cool. Don't know who else is going to be there. I'll see who's there, who's performing at the Brits. I wouldn't usually watch it or give it much thought, if I'm honest. Who is performing? I'm glad as well at the Brits. I think I've got a room backstage. Who's performing at backstage, because I thought like the red carpet's at 4, and then the show starts at 8 or 8:30. And I thought, for 4 hours, what? But I hope there's somewhere I can just switch off, because I can't be on for that long. I just need somewhere to go and sit on my own and just sort of stare into the middle distance / my phone. Who's performing at the Brit Awards 2026? Alex Warren. I don't know who that is. Harry Styles. Olivia Dean. I only ever hear people say something about Olivia Dean and then follow it up with, she's incredible, isn't she? She's amazing. And then one of her songs came on the other day, and then I knew it. And I was like, I love this song. And it turns out I also love Olivia Dean. I don't know who this is. Ejay, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami, the singing voices of Huntra / X. I don't know what that means. Wolf Alice, cool. Mark Ronson, and Rosalia. Don't know Rosalia. Okay, Alex Warren was a breakout star of 2025, accumulating over 7.7 billion streams. The problem is I'm going to the Brits, and when Spotify do that thing about your average age of what you are as a listener, I got 87. So I don't think what I'm into is going to be at the Brits. His single Ordinary is Brit certified. Okay. Maybe I've heard of it, but I don't know. I won't play it on here because I think I'm not allowed. Harry Styles. Yeah. Olivia Dean. Great. What is Ejay, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami, the singing... they're from K-pop Demon Hunters. Now that makes sense. Right. I've still not seen it. Okay. So I imagine there's going to be a lot of people who are very finger on the pulse, very culturally aware, being boom, let's sing along. And probably a lot of parents there being like, oh, we know this one, or I'll film this one. I'm going with George Lewis is going actually, and he's a dad, so he'll probably not only know it, probably want to film it for his children. I would have thought. Right, the trio are nominated for International Group. Ejay, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami, the singing voices of Huntra X from Netflix's K-pop Demon Hunters. Now that makes sense. Wolf Alice, cool. They are nominated for Group of the Year. They've been going for years, haven't they? Am I right in thinking they've been going for years? How long has Wolf Alice been around? I can't... Wolf Alice. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought they'd been around for a long time. Yeah, 2010. Oh, okay, I guess it's not new Band of the Year, just Band of the Year. And then Mark Ronson, but he'll probably have some special guests. Nice, okay, cool. What was I going to say? Don't remember. Oh yeah, not wearing a suit there. Yeah, I don't think you have to. It's not stuffy, is it? Like these other award things. Although I feel like suits are getting... I watched Big the other day Great film. Love Tom Hanks. And I think that shape of suit that people wore around the like sort of 80s, early 90s is going to come back, where it's sort of bigger and baggier and looser. Hope so anyway, because that looks cool. I think that will come back in, because I think the worst time was when ties were that sort of thinness. When they were super thin and you were like, if you were in the right band, it was all right. And then they just got to, some suits just look awful, don't they? Just, you know, that real sort of, or actually, no, I'll tell you what it was. No, it wasn't the thin. The thin one wasn't so bad. It was when it was that really big knot and a big wide thing. God, that looked awful. And then people would have like a blue and white striped or pink and white striped shirt with white collars and then white cuff bits. God, that was the bleakest time in humanity, fashion-wise, when it comes to suits. There's obviously been a lot worse times than that going on, but you know that's up there. So I can't switch off. I think my brain's always got too much going on. Maybe, like, again, that sounds like I'm like an apprentice candidate, but if I stop, I'll end up, something will come. I don't know how. Maybe I need sort of drugs. But not like crazy things. People do like microdosing, don't they? In fact, I've been watching Platonic. Platonic is great. It's on Apple TV. It's Seth Rogen, who I love. Seth Rogen. He's so good. And it's such a escapist show that's just such an easy watch, but it's great. But he's obviously somebody who, I think even before, well, yeah, way before weed was legal in America, he was sort of just openly doing it, wasn't he? I don't think you could really do that in the UK. I guess unless you're Keith Richards and sort of that, you can't really be in the, you have to be a musician, I think, don't you? British musician, and you can sort of get away with doing drugs, and everyone's like, oh, that's them. But if you're a comedian, I just don't think you can. I'll try it at the Brits. See how that goes. Bit of PR. Because I remember, in fact, I think, was it Jack Whitehall getting in trouble or something? And there was, maybe it's that accent, maybe that was never true, but I think there was something like that. And again, it's like a comedian. We go, no, not from you, not from sports people, not really from actors. Thanks. It's a bit annoying. It's musicians. That's what we want. You're a rock star. You can do, drugs, and you can be a bit more reckless and a bit crazy. But if you're, certainly an athlete, they go, no, we pay money to watch you be your best. So we don't want drugs that are going to make you worse or drugs that are going to make you better. Actors, they just go, no. But it's musicians, you're allowed. Comedians, but in America, they seem to be like that weed when it was... It's always been more accepted over there anyway, hasn't it? I think. Here it's a bit... I don't know. It's a classic teenage thing over there, I think, to be like in someone's basement. Like that 70s show was just people getting high. It's like a children's sitcom. I just don't think you'd have that here. In fact, we had, was it Grange Hill that did the Just Say No, and then it ended up going to not the White House, I think it was 10 Downing Street, but Just Say No was like a big thing, don't do drugs. And over there it was a bit more like, oh yeah, people just get high. Mind you, it's legal in a lot of places there now, isn't it? And I wonder when that would happen here. I think people are a bit stiffer here, aren't they? I think. Also, probably, if it's becoming legal then now, a lot of the parents probably did it when they were younger. They know, like, weed, maybe it's fine. It's probably better if it's just controlled. And so they're a bit more okay. But then our parents wouldn't have done that, I think. Help me relax, though, wouldn't it? Microdosing. But anyway, yeah, I think... Actually, I was going to say my birthday I'll switch off, but I think I've worked on my last 2 or 3 birthdays. I think I have. I think I've had a show. So, even I can't stop on my birthday. I know one person who can't stop or have a birthday off, and that's Andrew. on his birthday. They must have known. Was that deliberate? They know he's going to be at home in the morning and up early, I guess. Excited for his presents. I did a video about that. The video I did was him imagining the police turning up at his house were strippers. Now, what was annoying about that is I filmed it, but when it all came out, my my cleaner was here, so I couldn't really film that. I had to wait until she was out, and then I was going to meet a friend for lunch. So I went to meet her. Then I got back, so I filmed it. And I put it out about 5 o'clock. And what was annoying for me was people were going, "God, that was quick." And I was like, "Oh, it could have been quicker, but it would have been quite an insane thing to be filming with the cleaner here." I think sometimes it's okay if I'm down the other end. She not only would she not hear, because she has AirPods in anyway. English isn't her first language, so I feel like she'd probably just think I was on like the phone, maybe. But I couldn't have done the thing where I had my face pushed up against the floor, arresting myself, because if she walked around the corner, I don't know how I would have explained that. But yeah, not to make light of it. Obviously, he's a guilty man, but you want to have some fun with it. But it's crazy that the king straight away putting out the statement. Saying the king is mad, isn't it? I just calling Elizabeth the Queen was just what I did all my life. She was just always there. She was sort of always there for me the same way like Tom Cruise was. Like if you say, "Oh, he's a movie star," like Tom Cruise. My whole life, he has been the movie star. Isn't that crazy? He just sort of held that. You go, oh, because all the others come through. I'd say him and like Brad Pitt as well. But Tom Cruise, probably even more. Like so famous and just always and not just movies, action. Those Mission Impossible, it's quite bizarre, isn't it? That he's always been the one. Like, who's a bigger star than him? He must be the biggest film star. And he just has been for, don't know how long even. But like since Top Gun, all the way till, they brought out Top Gun Maverick and then Mission Impossible. It's unreal. Really. Yeah. I would really like to meet Tom Hanks. I had a dream once that I met him at Slough bus station. And just since then I've always thought, I think I will. I hope I will. That's when I would just love to meet. Just wow. Yeah. Love his films. Saw the trailer for Toy Story 5 the other day. I think they've done well with that, with it being about the screen time. That's their biggest enemy of toys. I think they've nailed that one. But yeah, calling him the king. It just seemed odd. Like the Queen was just. It just seemed. You just always said that, and it seemed normal. And then I remember when the Queen died. The next day I was in London and there were helicopters overhead because I think Charles had been in Scotland or something when she died. Or maybe that's where she was and he'd gone to visit her. Anyway, he came back. So there were helicopters over and he was driving, or being driven, obviously, through London. So you could see the helicopters and you knew that was because they were watching the king. But that never happened. Obviously, there's other royal families, but like this one is obviously the biggest, isn't it? I think that's okay to say. And so for a helicopter to be above filming the king just seemed like technology going. It just seemed like modern and future times and the past really clashing, and just seeming so odd. Helicopters above as the king is driven through London. But just saying the king feels like you're in Shrek. It just doesn't quite seem right to me to say the king. I don't know why. It feels too oldie worldy. What I think is amazing, actually, this might come across not how I intend it. Let me take a sip of my tea and then think about how I want to word this. it's quite amazing in the past, really, considering um, like like feminism and like sexism and all that. That all that is that they had queens so long ago, like hundreds of years ago. It's almost. This is going to sound bad. I wish there was a better way to phrase this, but it's pretty cool that they let them. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm not thinking of me now, but I'm thinking of them in the past. Like, this is around the same time that Henry VIII, who I think is probably the most famous king ever, isn't he? I don't think you're topping that. Um, Henry VIII. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah, so famous, that one. But like around that time, the fact that they were also like, oh yeah, because he obviously wanted a son so that the son could be the king after him. So around the same time that they were just chopping off women's heads for not, I don't know, it was Anne Boleyn and whose heads went? It was Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard. I always remember when you're learning about it at school, the way I learned and remembered that it was Anne Boleyn's head that was decapitated. Is that what you say? Chopped off? I don't know. Executed. She was executed. Beheaded. Was that it was Anne Boleyn, and Boleyn sounds like bowling, and you could have bowled with her head. I remember learning that when I was young, thinking that's how I'll remember that one. Don't know how I remembered Catherine Howard. How was bowling? Probably like that. But I had little systems like that to learn. So yeah. But mind you, the first queen was Henry's daughter, right? Was she the first Mary the First? I think so. Mind you, she killed loads of people. Was he yeah, because it was Henry VIII. It's his son Edward. Edward died young. That was it. Because am I remembering that right? Edward died as like a teenager, and then he didn't want Mary to be next because he thought that Mary was going to undo whatever like religious thing had happened. That's where I lose it. Something. Obviously, he started the Church of England so that people could get divorced. It's crazy that he came up with that. Did he come up with that after? No, he'd already divorced, then he beheaded, so he knew that divorce was an option. But that's almost worse, isn't it? To have created something so you could get divorced, and then said, even though I could divorce you, I'm gonna behead you instead, even though I've created this law. So yeah, then Edward came. Then he didn't want Mary. He must, yeah, because he obviously was ill, I guess, if he died. Didn't want Mary to be next because he was worried she was going to undo all that. But then it was Mary. But then Mary did do that, I guess, and then she killed hundreds of people. So, I wonder who had a bigger kill rate. Was it Henry VIII or Mary the First? What a history lesson for us here. Who killed more people? What a lovely Google search. Who killed more people? Henry VIII or Mary the First? Henry okay, he killed significantly more than Mary, with estimates suggesting he was responsible for tens of thousands of executions per oh, okay, wow, he definitely won then. 57 to 72,000 during his 38-year reign, mostly for political and treasonous reasons. Mary the First, despite her, of course, Bloody Mary nickname, burned just under 300. Burned. Religious, yeah, it was a religious thing, wasn't it? But thinking of this, if Henry killed, let's say they've put it between 57 and 72,000 people, but how much of the population was that back then? So 72,000. Just thinking how much the population of England could have been so much bigger now because of Henry VIII population around then. I don't know how to Google that really. Population around then. 2.2 million and 2.9. So they reckon there's about 3 million people in England back then. Actually seems quite a lot. 3 million people. And he killed almost 75,000. Whoa. So the population could have been a lot bigger now. Not saying he was right, obviously, but interesting to think about. I had to get some passport photos done the other day, and I wish I had them with me to show you. In fact, I could go and grab them off the fridge. I basically tried to get passport photos done for a visa application I'm doing, and I accidentally got them with a Peppa Pig filter all over them. Let me see if I can grab them. One moment. I'm going to see if the microphone will stay with me while I do this. I'm going to... I don't know if it is, so sorry if I lose you at some point, but I'm just going into the kitchen. Let's have a look. I won't talk too much or give any too much information in case you can't hear this. But if you want to have a look, this is on... let me check you can actually hear me before I... Let's have a look. Oh, okay, I think that was working. Anyway, if you want to look at the camera or the video now, this is on Spotify and YouTube. There you go. That is... I tried to get passport photos done. If I'm honest, the clues were there. The whole photo booth was designed like Peppa Pig. I just thought that was to sort of make it... You know, like when you go to hairdressers, they have like cars that children can sit in with a steering wheel so they can have fun while they have their haircut. I imagine having a child have their photo taken could be quite annoying for the parent to sort of control the child or get them to sit still. And it looks quite scary what's about to happen to you, sort of staring back at your own face. So I thought maybe they've made it Peppa Pig to make it look fun, but no, it is just... And they don't show you that beforehand. And when I opened up the curtain, there was just two women there with a young, like a 3-year-old girl who wanted to go in there and have a photo taken. So when I opened the curtain up, they were just there waiting for me. So I did tell them that what had happened, so I didn't look, well, however you want to fill that in. Creepy, weird, insane, odd, sort of person you wouldn't want to know. Okay, Richard Parker's trying to come in. Here we go. Okay, mister. I've been showing them those photos of me with Peppa Pig. Richard Parker, can you appear on camera for me? Because when you don't, if I talk to you and you don't appear, turns out people complain. 1 second. I know. There we go. Okay, you're going to... Look, you want to say hello? Say hello. Look. What is it? Look, you want to say hello to the camera? Hello. There you go. Like that? Yeah? Good boy. There you go. He's just been out. I've been watching him over the back there, actually staring at something. So I don't know what he's found. I think it's probably a sleeping fox. Because he comes back and he gets a bit funny around me. And I think it's him trying to let me know there's a fox over there, by the way. But he can't say it. Okay. Oh, that's a nice purr. Will you purr on the microphone? Probably did hear that, actually. I think he wants food. How are you doing for food? You would quite like food? Yeah. Okay, let's give you some food. Yeah? Okay, let me do it over here because I'm actually doing a podcast at the moment, so people are listening to this, and I feel like I'm sort of... It's just me, and Armin. Oh, you've got fur all over my white top. My fault for wearing a white top, obviously, but... So he has this kibble, if you can see that on the camera. It's just he only has wet food if he's ill. Not from that one, But no. Come on, over here in the tower. I put his food in, he's got this tower thing that it goes in. So you'll hear me pour it in 1 second. I'll do that. There you go, mister. And so, I could show you actually. Let me try and show you in case you are watching this. Will this work? It's like that, the tower. Can you see that? No, I don't know how to get that to work. Don't worry about that. Okay, that was a mistake. Sorry about that. Whew, blimey. Yeah, he has a tower that he eats out of. Is because when he lost his eye, he couldn't go out. So it was to keep him busy, keep him using his brain and sort of burning calories. But he still uses it, which feels a bit cruel because now he does go out, then he comes back and he still has to sort of work for food, but keeps him active. And he put on a bit of weight when I was away skiing, so it's good to get that down. Have you been watching the Winter Olympics? God, it's sometimes you put it on and there's some sport on there that I don't fully understand. It's like if it's cross-country skiing's quite a tough watch, probably tougher to do, obviously, but you know, not a lot going on. Just sort of looks pretty, but the curling, I think the curling always steals the show. There's something very calming about watching it. I don't know what it is. And then, in fact, the other day, it was I was watching Great Britain in the curling, and it just kept showing this old lady in the crowd just sat there knitting. So that's, you know, you couldn't do that at in the Premier League, I don't think. I mean, if you did, you definitely ended up on TV, that's for sure. But I mean, if it was an old lady doing it, everyone's going to love that, and they'll go, "That's great, look at that." But I think if I do it, you know, that's probably getting a few memes. But I just love the curling. That's one I could do. I guess I did it once actually in London, but it wasn't proper. You had to put like things over your shoes so you could be on the ice. It wasn't real. I don't know how you'd get into that. It's like when you see people doing the skeleton. You go, where does that happen? But curling, I just think all you'd have to do is build a centre. People love paddle. Just build a centre and we can all go curling. I think people would love it. Like I like shuffleboard, and it's like that on a bigger scale. I'd like to be the one that just sort of pushes the thing along. I don't know if I would be as good at that sweeping actually looks like hard work. I don't know how they don't touch the stones, because they move their thing that ever they have that they sweep with. They move that all around the stones as well when they're at the end bit to like point at them. I'd be so nervous I'm going to knock something. But as they're going, they're so close to the stone and they're like sweeping really. And mind you, maybe I would be good at that. In the old place I lived, it had a big patio with the neighbour's tree hung over it. So every autumn it would get, autumn it would get covered in leaves, and I'd have to sweep that up, and I did enjoy that. I mean, obviously you'd sound mad if you showed up to a curling club and said, "I love sweeping leaves, so I think I can give this a go." But I'm pretty good at it. It's a big old workout on those forearms as well. But I just really like it, and you have to be so smart because you can't just aim for the centre, because ultimately the other team, if they have the hammer, which means they have the last push, throw, whatever you call it, they could just smash all yours out the way, and then they've got the centre. So you have to be very smart. So you go, actually, I don't want to aim for the centre here. If I aim about 6 feet short of the centre, if they do try and smash one, it might just push this onto the middle bit. So there's a lot going on there. God, it's so good. I'm glad as well that they don't just have it as a knockout. They have it as, I think it must be some sort of league thing, so that it's gone on for weeks. And yeah, if that was something you could just go, can you properly do it in London? Can you properly curl in London? Can you properly curl in London? Also, one thing I'll talk about after this is wavy friendly salon recommendations. Huh? Yes, you can absolutely get your hair properly curled. No. Can you properly do Olympic curling. Olympic curling in London. Yeah, you can absolutely do proper Olympic-style curling in London, particularly during the winter season. The curling club, that'll be it, offers dedicated high-quality and sometimes even ice-free competitive curling. Huh. Oh, in Chelsea. Oh, coaching for beginners. Wow. Queen's London offers traditional ice-based 50-minute instructor-led curlings. What if I got into curling? What a thing that would be. Imagine if that in 4 years' time I'm at the Winter Olympics recording this podcast. Yeah, we're at the finals tonight, curling. Wow. Well, something to think about. Yeah, I do like it. I find it very therapeutic to watch. So if it's like that to play, I'd love it. Thanks for all the TV and film recommendations. We were talking about that last week. Now, I listened to a podcast called The Watch. It's American, and they talk about the television industry in America, which I need to sort of know more about for work. But it's also, they'll pick certain shows and they'll talk about it. And one of them they talk about is this new, is it a Game of Thrones sequel, prequel? I never watched Game of Thrones, so it doesn't mean anything to me. But they really talk about, and somebody, who was it, recommended it to me this week in the comments, I think it was on Spotify, is a show called The Pit. Now, people love The Pit. When I first heard that it was called The Pit, I was sort of picturing people in in a big pit. I thought it was going to be digging, and it was going to be load of what was it? Almost like where the Flintstones worked, but in a modern way. I thought it was going to be that, but it's not. It's I think Pittsburgh, right? I think it's called it because of Pittsburgh. Comments. Somebody recommended it to me, but I don't think it's available here yet. Until it seemed it's on the second series in America. So this feels odd, but I think it's because is it HBO? I think when it's not one of the big streamers, it actually gets a bit confusing. Okay, so here we go. This is from, I don't know how to say the name, Fino, Hfino. My TV show recommendation is Deadlock. It's made in Australia, so not sure if you can stream in the UK. I'll look it out. I'll look it up. I'll look out for it. Deadlock. Also Fisk. Now I have watched Fisk. Fisk is very good actually. That's on Netflix. Very funny. If you can't watch them, which is funny because I know Fisk is available, then they've written The Pit lives up to all the hype. So I think actually that's one that can you watch The Pit in the UK? I think it's not available here until March in the UK. Yes, you will be able to watch The Pit in the UK starting March 26, 2026. Easy to remember. I think it's going to be very big here then. Well, I know that because it's big in America. But yeah, they're not releasing it till then. And people love it. And I think, from what I can tell, it's set in a hospital in Pittsburgh. And it's done hour by hour. I think so. A bit like 24 used to be. I think you're watching one thing play out over time. I think that's what it is. But I look forward to watching that. So I think that's going to be a hit. So thanks for that recommendation. I will be watching that. I actually watched Casino this week. I'd never seen it. I'm surprised it was made in 1995. I thought it was earlier. And it's good, but the story just sort of jumps at odd times. You have to do quite a bit of work to understand what's happening. But it is good. I love Robert De Niro anyway. But I watched that. So is that a recommendation? If you're into it. Any other? Okay, here we go. Mallet24 has put, recommending TV to people is my love language. Well then, thank you very much. Here's some shows I've enjoyed recently. All Her Fault. All Her Fault. Was that with that was with the lady from Succession, wasn't it? I didn't see that, but great. Hijack. Oh, okay, that's Apple TV as well. Idris Elba. Okay, I've seen that come up. Shrinking. Yeah, that's also Apple TV. You like Apple TV? How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. Cool, you're a big TV watcher. Thanks for making the time to listen to this. How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. Yeah, I've seen that come up on Netflix. Can You Keep a Secret? Huh. Why do I know that? Can you keep a secret? Let me Google that. Where have I heard that? Can you keep a secret? Go. Can you keep a secret? Oh my god, that's crazy. I've just typed into Google, can you keep a secret? This is the response. This is the world we're living in. I'm an AI, so your secrets are technically stored rather than kept, but I don't have anyone to gossip with. Just a heads up, while I don't share your data... Unbelievable. No. What is the show? Can you keep a secret? Cool, what did I think I was about to confess? That's crazy that I googled that and that's the first thing that came up. Can you keep a secret? British television sitcom that premiered on BBC One. Dawn French and Mark Keep. Oh, yeah, I I auditioned for the son of that. Didn't get it, obviously. But their son, I auditioned. I got, yeah. So, no, I'm not going to not watch it because of that, but I did, yeah. Waiting for the Out and Lord of the Flies. Cool, you're very good at watching stuff. Wow, I don't have time for... I can only do really 1 or 2 shows at a time. Usually 1 drama, 1 comedy. It's like when I read a book, I can do 1 fiction, 1 non-fiction at a time. But other than that, wow. Cool. Waiting for the Out. Are you waiting for a show called The Out, or is that The Out? I don't know. I can't keep Googling shows. But thank you. I'll look through some of them. I'm not sure if Lord of the Flies is for me. That's... I mean, obviously, I've read the book and I know the story and... must have watched an old film about it, but is it not a bit heavy? Maybe? Sorry, did you meow at me then and I was in flow? Would you like to go out? Don't rub against that again. Do you remember last time you knocked it? Don't look at me confused. Yes, thank you for the recommendation. So I've just finished Platonic. That's my recommendation back to you. You like Apple TV and it's on Apple TV, so there you go. And yeah, I need to stop. I've been watching Malcolm in the Middle, as you know. That's a great one to dip in and out. If I've got 25 minutes and I'm just sat down maybe with lunch, I'm going to have lunch after this. Sit down, watch that, Malcolm in the Middle, bang, that's great. In fact, because after this now, I'm going to go and have lunch and then I've got a meeting in an hour and I've got 2 shows tonight. Boy, oh boy. But tomorrow I'm off, and then and then go into the spa as well. So that'll be nice. I'm actually doing a show this week. If you're listening and you live in London, it's a charity show at the Comedy Store for it's Adam Hill's Children's Trust benefit. So if you're around on Tuesday, I think it starts at 7:30. I'm not until 9:30, but obviously turn up for the whole thing. But yeah, there you go. That's what I'm doing this week. And other stuff. But thanks for listening. I think we learned something there, didn't we? We learned stuff about, unless you already knew, about Henry VIII. You really want to go out, don't you? Go on then. Can you at least say bye to the listeners? Nope. Can you say bye to me? Nah, he's just gone out. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think we went through quite a journey there. Thanks for listening or watching. As I say, this is available on Spotify video and YouTube. Also, I got some nice reviews this week. Thanks for doing that. Apple seems to be the one that we're really lacking on. So people did it on Apple and I saw them. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can find them. Not to read out my own praise, but it's just nice, I think, if you do it as an incentive. I will say thanks on here. Cricket Mum and Cake Maker, that's your name. 5 stars. I can't actually... I think you've given it the title. You've put, like having a friend in the... And it says R ... So I can't actually read the full title. And then you've put such an easy listen. Thank you. But I can't see the full title. But I assume it's nice. Keep giving it 5 stars. Stillsatron. Can't work out what that name's from. If you can explain that to me somewhere. Oh, this is nice. I can't believe... sorry to read out my own praise, but it's just nice that people are doing this. So if you can do it on Apple, because I think it gives it a big old push, and that it seems to be lacking. I can't believe I've taken so long to tune into Jake's rambling. Fair. He's just bloody brilliant. That's nice. I genuinely look forward to each episode. Thank you, Stilsatron. Hope you're enjoying this one. And then before that, we had Eva, Bastille, Sam, Leeds. Thank you so much. I'm not going to read them all out, but I will read out all the new ones. Those ones were from a while ago. And then Spotify were good. But if you just hit that 5-star, it's algorithm stuff. I can't really... I should do a trailer for this, but I don't know how to do a trailer. Because, like, I don't know what I would say. Because the others as well, they'll just show, like, a clip from it. And it'll be two people, one person saying something and someone saying something back, and then they both sort of push the microphone away and laugh. That's most trailers. Because most podcasts are... I guess if I was to sell it, most podcasts are just two idiots talking to each other. And this is just one idiot talking to himself. That's a sales pitch. If you ever want to sell this show to a friend, that's exactly what this is. Anyway, thanks for listening. And I'll record next week then from Manchester, I think, just before I go up for the Brits. But yeah, before I go out to the Brits. But yeah, if that's all right. And then the week after that, I'll let you know how that was. But genuinely, thanks for listening or watching. I really like doing this every week. Just a nice little catch up. Any comments? Spotify comments, YouTube comments. That's where I'll try and handle most of them. And someone actually commented on YouTube about how this is, I think they called it a killer catchphrase. So I was very happy with it. As always, see you next Monday.